And despite a sluggish global economy, China and Chile are working together to elevate their cooperation to the next level. The presidents of both countries attended the APEC leaders meeting in Peru just a few days ago, and that focused on quality growth and human development. CCTV's Tung Bo spoke with the Chilean ambassador to China to find out how the two sides can further explore their cooperation potential. And the ambassador started with the question on how China and Chile should cooperate to achieve quality growth that the APEC meeting called for.
I take it to mean is that there are enormous challenges to globalization, to international trade. There are strong protectionist forces that have been raising their ugly heads in the past few months. And I see the APEC summit in some ways as a continuation of the G20 Hangzhou summit, in which China and other countries took a strong stance against these protectionist forces and argued that the world economy must restart on its way to further liberalization of trade, further opening of our economies, further globalization.
We know that Chile holds the highest amount of free trade agreement with other countries around the world, with China being one of them. So how has Chile benefited from those agreements, and how has the country benefited from its cooperation with China?
Well, the answer to both questions is it has benefited tremendously. Nowadays we have around 25 agreements with some 65 countries around the world, and of course very prominently among them the one that was signed with China in 2005. Our foreign trade has benefited tremendously from all of these agreements, and particularly in the case of China, to give you only one indication, our bilateral trade has increased fourfold since 2005 to 2015. So it seems to me that is the best indicator of how successful this has been. And it seems to me this is not happenstance, this is not simply the result of some coincidence. Both China and Chile are countries that have worked well with the forces of globalization, and free trade, of course, is an integral part of them.
And then what are you expecting the most from President Xi Jinping's visit to Chile this time?
Well, there are two things. One of them, we are upgrading the relationship that we have from a strategic association to an integral strategic association, which is sort of the next step. And second, the deepening of the FTA. There is one aspect that I am particularly keen on, and that is a project to build a trans-Pacific fiber optic internet cable from China all the way to Chile. This is a 19,000 kilometer cable, the largest submarine internet cable in the world. This was proposed formally by our Deputy Minister of Telecommunications last January when he visited China, came again in August, and there's an MOU that has been signed on that, and the feasibility studies for that project are now being undertaken.